Hi, Kathy, Jully,
Hi.
how are you?
Fantastic. How are you today?
Good. It's such a pleasure speaking with both of you about Amazing Race Canada, but I wasn't expecting that we would be doing this now. When I had heard about it and I thought what was going on. So I watched your episode and I still can't figure it out. I don't know what happened. You were definitely the most fun team. And was it in the edit? What went on? Take me back to the time of shooting it.
Well, it's so interesting because anything could happen on this show. We're all fans of it. You'll see, first place, second place, third place, ninth place, 10th place, last, blah, blah, blah. And it's anyone's race right until that moment. And so all of the challenges we did well in, we had a great time. And we were in Quebec. We were
Yeah.
in a French speaking place with, no GPS and no OnStar. And so it happens sometimes where directions will get you.
But a singing challenge? Of all the things, there's a singing
Oh,
challenge?
you know, I mean that was funny to me. We have Broadway actor stars and actors and all the things and singers as well. So, but it seemed like that's kind of like the Jully Black challenge. Um, the challenge was super easy. We did it really quickly, and so sometimes, yeah, sometimes that's what happens. You gotta dust yourself off and do it again.
My theory is that you were just having the most fun and you're not maybe thinking about it. It's a timed game, right? You're competing against the clock, but maybe it's just something where you're doing your thing and that isn't the game. I don't know.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kathy. I think that's good to jump
Yeah.
in.
Land of one-way streets. So, I mean, we can't share too much because that's why it's TV. It's the best, but it's behind the scenes, it's all the things. But there's a big, long season ahead of us, so we don't want to share too much. But the TV and editing is a real thing, right? So, is it the directions? Is it the challenge? Who's in what place? You'll never know. But Montreal and one-way streets and the driving directions and the directions you'd get if you were walking, let's just say that they wouldn't be the same. You can walk and turn right, you can't drive and turn right. So finding your way in and out of there, you lose a lot of time when you don't have the right directions, and COVID and sharing devices and asking en français how to get there, and there's a lot of variables. But Julie and I will always have fun no matter what, but we're also competitive. So I think we managed to learn how to scat in the car on the way. So I still feel like directions was the downfall there.
Mm-mm. How was your
Hmm.
experience though? What's it like? You talk about how close you are, right? That you've been for a while. What's it like to be together on the show, to reconnect, to build your friendship?
I
Go
can
ahead, Kathy.
start, yeah. It's it's one of those things that you have. Friendship is incredible, and then the race, living with, breathing with, racing, stress, all of the things, is something totally different. And I feel like we're coming out of here stronger. You can't come out the same. It's impossible. Like it's too life changing. You don't have your phones, you don't have social media, you don't have television, music. There's so many things you don't have that you really have to find a way to get to know one another. We're both women of faith. So to pray with someone who I literally met on a prayer call pretty much, we have our prayer, we have our faith. We got to do this. We get to do this together. There's
Yeah.
only 80 people in Canada out of 33 million that can even say they've raced. So
Hello.
I'm here for that all day, and to be able to do it with Jully Black, and I know that it was like Jully Black. Everyone knows Jully Black. Now a few more people know Kathy Hunter, but it's
Hello.
really a blessing to be able to go and be, Julie's sidekick and partner on this. It was awesome.
Hmm. So for both of you, what do you feel like are some of your favorite places to be? The race takes you everywhere. You were in one city. I don't know what happens after even. I don't know if you still head out. I don't know if you're in a pod, in a quarantine, I don't know, in a bubble. But what are
Tucked
what are
up in
some of your
bed.
favorite places? What are some of your favorite places in Canada?
Well, I mean, we've both traveled Canada back and forth for in our careers, so we've seen Canada. And so I think the difference is being on the Amazing Race Canada and being able to spend time with complete strangers, like 18 other strangers, having the same shared live experience, not to mention bringing in culture, indigenous, Filipino, Jamaican, there's all types, everybody, white, black, all of it, right? So the world says that Canada's one of the most multicultural places in the world. Well, we lived it actually for all that time together. And so I think it was more for me, and I think Kathy will share the same sentiment. It was less about how much of the geographically, how much of the land we actually got to see, and more so how much we got to learn about each other's culture moment to moment, like on the bus, on the Ferris wheel, in Tremblant, running through. Like, this was like, that's where the meat, and the potatoes were right there.
I can't help, Jully, to jump back watching you on Canada Reads.
Oh yes.
That you didn't necessarily, I don't know if the goal, you didn't necessarily win, but there's, as you know, a particular soundbite and just the experience of it that I feel like that was the victory there. You're sparking discussion.
You're right,
and you're...
That's right. It's almost like Destiny's Child didn't win Star Search. Neither did Lauryn Hill. She didn't win Star Search either. Daltrey didn't win American Idol. So it's so amazing to see. I'm glad you meant the way you brought this in is so timely and fitting, because that's the whole thing. You get this opportunity for the country and the world to hear your voice, hear your sound bites, see your personality. Both of us, we're friends. You know what I mean? And so, even the one scene where like I'm trying to stretch my leg, like Craig got Craig's got his leg way up in the sky. Craig's got his leg way up in the sky. My leg wasn't doing that thing. Those are the moments that, for me, it's a classic Jully moment, and I love that we're able to share those opportunities together, those moments.
Yeah. So, having done the experience together, having had this chance, what do you think for the future, for each other, for your friend? Do you feel especially bonded because of it? Do you feel like, did you get a chance to meet with the other contestants? It's a competition. You're not necessarily just hanging out with them, but how does it feel having done the experience together?
Go ahead, Sid.
Right, yeah. Oh, you want me to go? Sure. This was definitely life altering, to know that, it's one thing to know somebody in, certain instances, but like for example, we both lost our moms at different times in our lives. We didn't know each other. Well, I know Kathy because she was already in my life. So she helped to kind of mentor me through that process. But then understanding like, okay, so now while we're here on earth, while we have life in our bodies, what are we going to actually take the time to try and do, where in another lifetime we may not have even said yes. It may have been like, what, for me, even as an artist, as a celebrity who's known and all the things, I'm like, do I want to put myself out there? That was never even a thought. There was no issue about, am I going to embarrass myself, or what's it going to look like because I'm Jully Black? And didn't care. It was all about the humanity of things. And so, true friendships, especially for when you have a friend that's popular, it's not that. My niece and nephew, my friends, I'm Julianne and Dara Gordon. Even though, Kathy met me as Jully Black, like, this is me all the way, full 360. You know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to now have this shared experience to share with our friends and our peer groups, our family, be like, okay, you know what? I did something on this show that you might want to give that a shot. You might even Kathy could speak to like singing with me or doing something. Not everybody sings. She put herself on Front Street. Be good. Kathy, you talk.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those things that you need to be able to encourage one another when it's something natural gifting, or something that's brand new. And to see Jully, because we knew each other from events and from prayer and our faith. So I know Julianne and Dara Gordon, and then Jully Black is like, to see her show the country so many pieces of her that we already know and love, and then to see those grow and expand. And even in this elimination, like, Canada knows there'll be more people eliminated. It's kind of
that's right.
We went first, but there's more. So to have that place of experience and be able to share. No different than, we've lost our mom. So if we can make it through that,
Mm.
losing on the first episode in what Canada says losing, there's so many victories in there. So
Oh, yeah.
many victories. And to race with a like minded, faith filled, incredible human, that it was never one of those moments that we're like, oh, we're not talking now. We're not about this. Like, this is the worst. Da da da. It's like, no, no. Okay, what was the purpose? How much
Mm.
fun did we have? What memories did we create? Look at these friendships. What role can we now be for the rest of the team members? Because it's a summer, but it's a short summer. So I think it's just that like-mindedness is so important, and how you go through hard times is like, it's what's going to make you successful.
Better to have competed than not to have competed at all.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
That's right, Charles. That's right.
You brought up music. I gotta ask, Julie, you've got some concert dates coming up. You've got some new songs as well too, some videos. Maybe an album might be on
Oh
the way.
yeah, albums in September. Yeah, the ending of September. I think it's the 27th. I have to double check. But yeah, the ending of September. New album is called Three Rocks and a Slingshot. I think it's funny thing is the album title. I picked the title like 2 years ago, and here an Amazing Race came around the bend, and you definitely it was like David and Goliath. Some of those challenges, you'd be like, need a little more faith, a little resilience, some courage. And so I tell people all the time when I explain the reason behind the title, it's like exactly that. Sometimes our giants seem so big, and really we just got to move out of our own way. And I'm really really excited to put music out. It's a different time, with streaming services and etc. And so everything is a win. I'm doing it independently, and so it's nice to be able to be like, yeah, new music. I've been filming TV. I've been doing acting. I won some awards in that space. Walk of Fame. Like all these things are kind of happening, and I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, I guess that happened. Like, I guess I'm inducted. I'm one of 200 people. Kathy's dad taught me that through Kathy, that only like 200 people ever been inducted in Canada's Walk of Fame ever in the history of Canada. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that's a thing. Let's go. I was chosen. That was good.
Big congrats to you for that, of course.
Thank you.
How does it feel that this show hadn't, it had taken a pause? The casting had started earlier on, but this was the first Amazing Race Canada in 3 years. And now, to go back out there, to go back out on stage, to be performing again, how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty incredible. I mean, arts and entertainment in particular, like film and TV, kind of managed to continue, even though the show was paused for 3 years. But being that I dwell in that space, I understand that there were shows that continued. So I think that it was pretty brave for them to be like, you know what, we can't let another year go by. Let's do this as safe as possible. And quite a few of us actually were cast way back in 2019. So we're here, we're alive. Many didn't make it through COVID, right? So even that aspect of being able to have the breath in our bodies, the lung capacity, the health, the mental health to do this, But I also realized that there's certain stress, certain positions that cause me anxiety that I didn't know I ever had in my life, and that as a result of being like kind of under pressure, I was, is this anxiety? Okay, let me now really get to know those triggers and really get the support through that anxiety, because I've never experienced anxiety in my life. And so, it's interesting what the win. There's a pot of gold, there's a pot of money and cars at the end. But let me tell you something, like, it's the true victory for me. The win is in understanding who you are, what you're made of, and what things actually don't make sense for you. So who knows what would have happened had we continued? I don't know. But what I do know right now is that my mental health is intact, and that's most important.
That's the victory. Yeah, that's the win.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now I'll go back and rewatch, and I'll watch upcoming, knowing that I've heard from you, and I've heard about how it is a victory. So
yeah, thank you, Charles. Yeah,
I really do appreciate it. I appreciate both of you, hearing from you and what you have coming up as well too. This is just the beginning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.